Hello and welcome to the Dutchin channel. It's Thursday the 25th of April 2024 and it's approaching 10 to 9 in the morning. I've got a bit of a long drawn out video here I want to show you, and it is a tutorial. But what we're going to do is the breeding side of things using the same figures that I use on a daily basis. So if you wanted to back a horse that hadn't run before, you can do it like the way I'm going to show you. But what we're going to do today, what horse is better from Aidan O'Brien's yard? City of Troy or Henry Longfellow? Which is going to be the best horse going forward? Are they going to meet each other in the Guineas or not? So we'll open up our sheet, a little bit different this time. But what we got to do, we got to do the points from the sire on City of Troy and the points for the dam. So we'll go into City of Troy and we'll open up the home page, and this is what it looks like on the Racing Post. And up the top here, sire, justify, dam, together forever. So we'll start with the sire. We'll need the form on this because once they go to stud, they just archive the form. Now it had run 6 times justify, and we're going to do this from bottom to top. Alright, so we'll start off with justify's first run. And we know when a horse runs, we don't really need to look here for the RPR when it's won. Alright, and of course this horse won every race. So the thing we need to do is 104. I'll fill the rest of it in as we go along, but 104, 110, 123, 125, and it did get disqualified on that one there where it was off a 123, 115 and 123, and of course when they win you just put a couple of noughts next to them. I have shown you this on another tutorial video. If you watch that you'll know what I mean. So that's justify. That was done nice and quick because it had won every race. Comes a little bit more complicated otherwise. So what we'll do with this one, we'll just highlight over the top there that was the best of 125. So to me, when you've got Frankel, I think he was something like 143. Justify on 125 is a long way from Frankel. I'm not sure this is going to be the sire of sires that Aidan O'Brien thinks it's going to be. But of course, he's got a long way to go. Now, going back into City of Troy, the dam was Together Forever. Now, this was actually an Aidan O'Brien horse in the day. So we'll quickly go into form, which is what we need. And you'll see there, Together Forever has run 9 times. So we're going to start from the bottom and work our way upwards. And then we'll see how good this horse actually got, starting off from the days of being a filly. So we've got 88 minus the 5 1/4. You do this exactly the same as if you were doing the daily horses to win. It's no different, but we just have to use past form. So first time out, let's just put Together Forever in here. And we knew when we added them up just now there was going to be 9 races. So you can see at the moment this is the top rating. of 85.75, but of course this was only first time out. Then the second race, -87 minus 0.75 for beaten 3/4 of a length. No difference in the weights, and that's gone up just a little bit to 86.25. Never take notice of the Racing Post rating fully, because I don't know how they get to their figures, to be honest. And now the third race was off of 107 and was beaten 2 lengths. And the weight was 5 under. So now Together Forever is up to 100 on the ratings. Now, if you know a horse is already on 100 after 3 runs, then it's going to be a half decent horse. Oh, I didn't need to do that. Right, so now the next 3 runs, which were all at 2-year-old, has won them all. So 94, 101 and 110. So now you will see that Together Forever has increased to 110 now, the rating. And with just 3 races to go, never won again. And then they retired it after a 3-year-old season of 3 runs. But let's see if it increased from that 110, or did it not train on. 104 got beat ahead and £4 more. So it has trained on, because it's not far short of that figure. It's on 107.75, but the highest so far is still on 110. A horse doesn't have to win to surpass that 110. It could finish halfway down the field. It just depends on the class of the race. So then it went for the Oaks. The winner was 116, and it got beat by 9 lengths. And the weights, I would think, yeah, all are going to be exactly the same. So now you can see it was down just a little bit on 107. And the last time it ever raced was back in the hometown of the Curragh. 114, got beat 4.5 lengths. And again, the weights were the same, and it done 109.5. So the best that we've got here for Together Forever was 110. Now, what I would do is just add the 2 together and divide by 2 to give the amount of the average for this winner. So if you added those 2 together and had 235 and halved it, you'd be getting around 117 to 118 for City of Troy. That would just give you an average of what his rating would be if you were backing this horse blind before it had seen a racetrack. So even from day one, you thought to yourself, this horse could be something really good, because it's already in the rating system of 117 to 118. So we always knew that this was going to be a good horse. But when you get it between 117 and 118, it doesn't mean it can't increase from that, and it doesn't mean it can also go down. but at the moment, just backing them blind, 117 to 18. So even at the start of a 2-year-old campaign, if you thought to yourself, I'll back that to win the Guineas, you'd have got a lovely price at the start, because no one knows what they're going to do until they get to the track. So that is City of Troy. Now we're going to look at Henry Longfellow. Right, this is another horse that's done pretty much similar things that City of Troy has done. I mean, if you look at City of Troy, it's run 3 times and won 3 times, and it's already gone past that. I mean, you can see it did hit 118, and then it won last time out. Whether that's going to go backwards or whether that's still going to press on, we don't know, but we have our average of what we've done. So the next one we're going to look at then is Henry Longfellow, and you can see down here that Henry Longfellow has done exactly the same thing. 3 runs, 3 wins, but the Racing Post ratings haven't gone up as high yet. They're on 116. But the sire this time we want is the Godolphin horse Dubarwi. And if you are going to do something like this, remember when you've got horses like Dubarwi and Justify and all that, you're going to be able to keep using them, so you can store that. We're only going to do it the once here because I want to show you what happens. And if you get a dam that hasn't raced before, then in my eyes it would be better not to bet the horse at all if you were going to do it on an anti-post theory. Alright, I would not back it at all. I'm not saying it still can't be a good horse, but it's not worth doing because you know nothing about the dam on the track. So let's go into Dubarwi first. And again, you'll need to archive this because you need to click on more for the form. And there's all the times that it ran. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 races that we need to sort. And remembering going back to City of Troy there, Justify was on 125. That was the maximum. It was pulled out early from its racing career though, so we'll never know if that would have increased. Right, and as we know, when a horse is won, we don't need to go in and look at the form. We just take the Racing Post rating, which is 99, 104 and 122. So already Dubarwi is only 3 points or 3 lengths behind Justify, and we've still got 5 races to go. So it ran in the Guineas here, finished 5th, and 118 was the winner, and Dubarwi got beat by 3 lengths, and as per normal, all the weights are the same. So this had a rating there of 115. We will never know whether this 122 was too high at the time. So going back into the form, the next race it won, and it raced off of 126. So it's now better than Justify on paper. Nothing else, obviously. Right, then we move into Epsom, where it then took on the Derby. This was the year that Motivator won it. I think this was the fastest ever Derby, I think. 129, but it got beat by 8 lengths. And yet again, it was the same amount of weight and gets 121 rating for that race. Then it won again next time out, following season. So it was increased to a Racing Post rating of 128. And it came out after that as well and run second in the Queen Elizabeth. 122, got beat 3/4 of a length. And this time had less weight by £4, so that's a -4. So ended its career on 117.25. So the best that Dubawi got to was 128, which is good. And we know at the moment that this is better than Justify on 125. So if it was just on sires alone, I would say that Dubawi has a 3-length cushion over Justify if they was to meet. So now we're going to go into the Dam, and this was one of my favourite horses in the day. This was a filly called Minding, and again trained by Aidan O'Brien. And run a few times this. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Make sure that's right, yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we'll start at the bottom. And came second in her first race. 94, got beat 2.5 lengths. And off same weight. So already after the first race it's a 91.5. And then won the next time, that was the maiden. And that was off of 95, so a little bit better. Then we'll move that down. Then the next race was back at the Curragh, where she finished second. 112 -2 for the lengths beaten, same weight again. So now that's improved to 110. So we'll go into the fourth race, which she won. So that brought 114, which is the new rating now after 4 races. Then came out again after that. Christ almighty. Came out again after that and won off 119. I wouldn't mind if I smoked, but I don't touch them. So now the new rating there is 119. So you know this is a classic contender. And after that she won again. This time it was offer of 121. And then second the time after. This was in the Irish 1000 guineas. 119 rated, beaten ahead. And the weights are the same. So not as good as the 121, but still a good rating of 118.75. And we move down again, and the next 3 are all wins. 118, 122, and 116. So you can see in that is now improved again to 122 this time, with 3 races left to go. The next race at Leopardstown was the Champion Stakes, where she came third. 127 minus 3.5 lengths. And again, weight for age there. Took off fillies against the colts. I would have thought that was. So 3 to come off that. So still not as good as the 122. And then she came out twice more, won both races, 123 and 122. So the 123 now goes to the top. And that's that. So we would add those two together. So we got 251 and 125.5 is the average. So this horse, Henry Longfellow, in my estimations, should get between 125 and 126. And going back to City of Troy, 117 to 118. So if I was at the start of the season looking to back a contender to win the 2,000 guineas, I should say, or the Derby, I would have been looking at this horse. This horse would have been most probably top of my pile. So we've still got a long way to see what happens because we haven't got to the 2,000 guineas yet. But let's see if that holds any entries anywhere else. We know that's meant to be going for the 2,000 guineas, but you know Aidan O'Brien don't like to put two horses together there. So let's have a look here. Yeah, he holds 4 entries. The Newmarket 2,000 guineas, the Irish 2,000 guineas, the Derby and the Irish Derby. So if you were going to go and back this horse, now's the time. I would back this over City of Troy every day. But we just don't know what's going to happen, where it's going to run. You know, you could do your money in 4 places there. So it's a bit dangerous trying to take a bet from either. But yeah, City of Troy versus Henry Longfellow. I didn't see that coming. I don't know if anybody else did or what they think of these two horses for the coming season. But that's that. And again, we'll be back tonight for the results show. So we'll see you then.